Okay, I think we can start.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon or good evening, everybody, depending on your time zone. Or good morning can happen also.
Yeah.
We are really glad to meet you here today for this first ISEC Alumni Cameroon Alumni Talk. We hope it will be the first of the long list of inspiring and motivating speeches from our lovely alumni to share their experiences, motivate other people to try, let's say, to engage the community, and also inspire them by what they are doing and motivate other people to also contribute in their way to grow, to make this our organization grow and growing together with everybody. I'm really glad that we finally made it today, despite the problem that we had last time. I'm really happy that we have today the first talk, our lovely Quinta, the ISEC Alumni Europe, ISEC Alumni Cameroon president. She's going to yes, say, to share with us her thought about social entrepreneurship, the intersection between charity and entrepreneurship. And I'm really looking forward for the output, and I'm really looking forward to have some, let's say, to be inspired by this. And I hope you are also looking forward to it. Without further detail, I will hand the floor to Binta to start her speech.
Okay. Hello. Thank you very much, Paul. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Okay. I'm happy that you made up time, to join on this very first edition of the talk. It's true that we've had a series of challenges before, but I'm glad that we are here. So today is very special, and I feel privileged, to be the first speaker on Alumni Talk. That's Alumni Cameroon Talk, actually. And today's topic being social entrepreneurship. It's going to be more of an interactive session. Okay, it's going to be more interactive because entrepreneurship, I believe we are in an organization where we've had to hear talks about entrepreneurship for so long, for as long as we've been in that organization, that is ISEC. And today, being an alumnus of ISEC, I believe we are in the field, actively implementing or carrying out all that we had acquired, during our life or experience in ISEC, as active ISECers. So today's topic, which is social entrepreneurship, the intersection between charity and entrepreneurship. It's a very interesting topic for me because I am a social entrepreneur, you see. I'm a social entrepreneur. And I believe that social entrepreneurship, amongst other things, is the solution to a lot of problems that we are encountering today, that even as an organization, we have tried, to see solve. Okay, the objective of this talk will be to understand the meaning of social entrepreneurship, to establish the importance, of social entrepreneurship within our community, within our the organization, and our country, and why not the world as a whole. And also to encourage people, to venture into social entrepreneurship as a means to check and to curb some entrepreneurship excesses. But how are we going to be able to do this? First, let us situate what social entrepreneurship is. Social entrepreneurship is down into what social connotes, what entrepreneurship is, and what the two coming together, what they entail. Now, social, makes reference to the society or an organization. You see, an organization like ISEC, why not? Or ISEC Alumni, the network, an organization or a society like Douala, Bonamusadi, you know, even your village, Bassa, Bali, whatever, you know, society there is. So sociologically speaking, social just simply means relationship with people or relationship amongst people, okay? So how do we establish a relationship with people? How do we run this relationship with them? And what are the, you know, what are the rules or what are the things that govern, you know, this relationship, okay? Is it for a business purpose? Is it just for family? Is it just friendship? Is it marriage? What is it? You know, that is the reason for this relationship or this tie that exists between people. That is what social means in this context. Now, entrepreneurship, on the other hand, simply refers to setting up a business, you know, setting up a business or businesses with the hope of making profit. You know, if you engage in any venture that you want to make profit out of, even if you buy water and sell, or even if you rent a house and give out for rentage,
Right.
that is entrepreneurship. It's not defined by the scale, okay? It's not defined by the scale, it's not defined by location, it's not defined by any of these factors. What defines entrepreneurship is the aim of that venture. That's profit making, that's entrepreneurship. Now, having established what social is and what entrepreneurship is on the other hand, what is social entrepreneurship therefore? Social entrepreneurship will mean a business undertaking with the aim of solving a social problem or effecting social change. Okay? So that is what social entrepreneurship, that if you engage in a business, you know, with the aim of solving a social problem or effecting social change or making people's life better, that is what is referred to as social entrepreneurship, then you can be called a social entrepreneur. Now, when we talk about the intersection now between charity and entrepreneurship or social and entrepreneurship, I like to say charity here connoting impact, okay? And entrepreneurship here referring to income, because the objective of entrepreneurship is to make profit, you know, in order to grow. Now, please, can you guys turn off your microphones? There's interference.
Your mic.
All this thing is rocket science to me. I'm trying. I don't even know how that works.
On
Let me keep trying.
down right, there is a mic icon. Just click on it to have the red bar.
No, I don't have any bike.
Okay, I will try to do it myself. It's okay. I think I can do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, it's done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, we were at the level of the intersection. If social means relating to people, you know, or establishing a relationship with them, and entrepreneurship means setting up a business with the aim of making profit. Now, when we talk about the intersection between these two, I like to call it, on the one hand, we talk about impact, and on the other hand, we talk about what? Income. Now, every entrepreneur's objective is to make profit, whether it is social, for social reasons, or for commercial reasons, uniquely, but their intention is to make profit. But in this case, the difference will be the aim, like the major motivation for that venture, which is to make people's lives better, to effect change, you know, in the society. It brings us to the SDGs, the United Nations Strategic Development Goals, which 17 of them, which all touch on different areas or different aspects of the society. We have quality education, we have zero poverty, we have equality, you know, we have human rights. The spans, you know, is very wide. Now, someone can take, for instance, one of that, say quality education or zero poverty, and establish, you know, a business idea around this social problem. When you establish a business idea around this social problem, your business, you know, plan makes provision for a return on investment. But the measure objective, or what motivated the undertaking, is, you know, the desire to curb or to solve the problem of poverty, or to solve the problem of low quality education. So now the intersection between these two will be the plight of the target vis-a-vis the value proposition. Now, what is your enterprise, or what is your business proposing to the public? Okay, the public, which happens to be the target for every enterprise, you know, proposal, whether it's a service, whether it's a product, what value it is that you're giving to the public in exchange for their money, you know, it is their value proposition. What is the plight of your target vis-a-vis this? How is this value proposition to affect, you know, your target market directly or indirectly? Is it intended to exploit them? Or is it intended to empower them? Is it intended to add value to them? You know, for instance, let's take this example. Maybe a company that deals in the production of firearms. Okay, that's a very extreme example, but then let's consider it. A company that deals in the production of firearms. What is their objective? I don't think that their major objective is, you know, to bring peace and stability in the world. Because if there is peace and stability in the world, their business will not flourish, it will not prosper. They'll go out of business. And if we know that any business venture has as main objective to make profit, it means that this is not a social enterprise, or it is not a social venture. Now, on the other hand, we have, for instance, I'll take my business, my company, which is OGC, Oku'na Group of Companies. The major aim, you know, of OGC is to propose or to give a better alternative for livelihood to those people who have been rejected, who are less privileged, for instance, the orphans, okay? Maybe ex-prisoners, ex-prostitutes, single moms, you know, that is the core, you know, of its business. Now, but how do we intend to do this? Okay, by bringing them to the production of maybe arts, crafts, you know, artifacts that could be marketed, you know, and the income given back to them, or to train them to produce maybe clothes, maybe in hairdressing, maybe in other things, you know, to be able to better their lives, like proposing to them a better alternative for livelihood. When this, you know, when this is done, it does not only, you know, bring them out of the situation in which they are found, but it also gives them an alternative. You understand? So when they produce these items, they are sold and the income is given back to them. And they can maybe rent a house, get clothing, get feeding, or whatever it is that they desire. Now, we will ask ourselves, how does it affect people? How does a business affect people? Okay, the cost of the business to humanity. Is it costing our peace? Is it costing our natural resources, like the nuclear plants that are everywhere? You know, what is the effect in the community? And now, who benefits? Who is the beneficiary of this venture? So these are, you know, the avenues that we use to evaluate or to determine which business has a social motive as opposed to a commercial motive. That is what I call the intersection between entrepreneurship, you know, and charity. You can choose to do charity. You can choose to do a, you know, a charity venture, okay, to help people, but then you make a business out of it. Because while helping people, you need to survive. I believe that is how the fair trade initiative came to be, which many cooperatives are using today. I was privileged in 2012, September, to work with, as an intern with the Bamenda Handicraft Cooperative. They deal in the production of crafts, you know, sculpture and other hand, you know, products. They weave, they do a lot of amazing things, okay? But the motivation of this, okay, was to make the peasants, or to better the standard of living for the peasants. The cooperative was built with the objective to link these peasants, you know, to the market without exploiting them. A businessman, for instance, would have just, you know, decided to put aside capital and just go purchase those artifacts and settle with them and have nothing to do with them anymore, and set up a shop maybe and sell those things. But the cooperative, you know, checks this, or, you know, makes this better by creating this platform when these producers, local producers, can come and activate their products and market them. At the end of the day, the proceeds are given back to them. Okay, a percentage of the proceeds, maybe 80% or 70%, depending on their negotiation, you know, within the cooperative or the internal rules and regulation governing them. So you can have maybe 80% or 70%. Then the remainder, the 20% or the 30%, is used to run the business, to run the cooperative, to pay management staff, to pay administrative staff. So this is what I call a social, you know, a social business, because the value at which those items that those peasants produce will be sold will be far more than what would have been the case if it was just a businessman that came and bought and went and sold. You know, they will have the best return on their hard work. So that is what social entrepreneurship basically is. Now, I say living and letting live. Living and letting live, that is the very basic or the very core of social entrepreneurship. Living how? That I want to make a living. I want to be able to survive. I want to be happy. I want to, you know, to live a bourgeoisie life. But how does my desire to live my dream affect other people? Remember, we said social refers to relating with other people. How does me wanting to live my dream life or affect the people around me, affect my immediate community, my immediate environment, affect the country? That is it, you know. Am I going to be living at the detriment of my community? And that is, you know, the question that many have failed to answer, and we are where we are today in the society, in the, you know, in this era, because of the global warming, the climate change. Okay, so if those people who are engaged in industrialization or large-scale production, you know, could have asked this question, okay, most of the pollution that we experience today, the environmental hazards that are plaguing our communities and our societies would have been checked at the very beginning. Okay, are we together?
Sure, we are together.
So we are together. We are together.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving forward, you say the business, okay, to know if you're in a social business or you're in social venture or not, the business needs to be motivated by the desire to make people's lives better, okay, as opposed to, you know, making their lives worse so that you can live your dream. It should be people oriented as opposed to income oriented. It should be impact oriented as opposed to income oriented. Now, the business growth is dependent on the impact it has or the number of lives that have been changed thanks to this venture. What do I mean by this? The business only grows as large, as far, as wide as the reach or the impact that it has on the life of people. Now, like I took the example of OGC. If OGC has to boast of of growth, maybe from year 0, the investment year, to probably the second year, the growth year, you know, it has to be able to evaluate that in terms of the number of lives, you know, that has been touched. How many prisoners or how many ex-prisoners are off the street? How many orphans, you know, are established in one vocation or the other, as opposed to how much money we are making at the end of the year. You understand the point? So it is more on impact than it is on income. Not saying that income is not important. It is equally important, but the priority is on impact, and it is impact that determines the income. Now, the core business is making lives better. I said it earlier, I'm not going to reiterate. And examples of such, you know, social enterprises would be OGC, that are common initiative groups, societies, you know, group of people coming together, you know, bringing in their small capital and setting up a business to make their lives better, the life of their families better, the life of their immediate communities better. And we also have cooperatives, like the case of the Bamenda Handicap Cooperative Society that I talked about earlier. Then we have businesses. I know so many young enterprises or startups that are built on the United Nations Strategic Development Goals. If any of you want to evaluate if your business venture is actually, you know, a social enterprise or it's just a commercial enterprise, you can, you know, pit it side by side, the United Nations Strategic Development Goals and the objectives that they set out to meet, and ask yourself, is it meeting these objectives? You know, it is an easy way for you to be able to evaluate. And with that said, I believe that, you know, most of the hazards or most of the catastrophe or the disasters, not natural, the disasters that we are experiencing today, you know, around the world, is as a result of human action without considering the impact that it has on the next person. And if we would only, you know, we would only put this first, put the human element, put our humanity first before income, we're going to have, you know, a revolutionized economy and a better, you know, society, a better world for all of us. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll hand it over, the microphone over to the moderator. So if you have any questions, I'd like to have them.
Thank you, Quinta. Really,
Thank you very
really
much.
inspiring and a lot of learning from that. I would just ask to those who has questions, you can directly unmute your mic and ask your question directly to, we are not that many to have some strict rule for the asking question. Just feel free, if you have a question, just unmute your mic and ask the question to Quinta.
Paul, I think you unmuted, you muted Jean-Louis' mic. So if you can unmute it for him, that would be great. Okay. Oh, Jean-Louis, I see your question. What's OGC? Well, OGC means Oku'na Group of Company. It's actually the abbreviation. And it is my business, and it's a social enterprise. Okay, and it has as objective, to propose or to provide an alternative, a decent alternative of living for those that we call society rejects. Okay, we have prostitutes, we have single moms, we have ex-prisoners who find difficulties in reintegrating, the society. Okay, so OGC creates a platform, to reorientate these people, and making them regain their self-confidence and self-worth, and presenting to them, vocations in which they can train themselves and grow. So that is basically what OGC is. And we use the fair trade system.
Okay, Percy, thank you. Now, we'll link your topic to ISEC, ISEC Alumni or ISEC Cameroon.
Okay.
Are we a charity or we are a social enterprise?
Well, ISEC in Cameroon is a social enterprise.
So what product?
The main product of ISEC is exchange. That's what ISEC was built on anyways, is exchange. And exchange is not done for free. But the objective of the exchange program, the International Internship Program, is to give people an opportunity, to be able to experience different cultures, to be able to understand different people's way of life in order to be more tolerant and more accepting to them, with the objective of establishing world peace or achieving world peace, so to speak, yes. So it's a social enterprise, given that the activities or their products are not for free, actually.
Okay.
Okay. See, can we say that?
There is a question here from Paul Ngako, written. Can we say that running social entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship is making material profit? Okay. Can we say that running social entrepreneurship is based on changing people's lives more than make material profit? Yes. I like the comparative, the more. So it is based, okay? The main objective is to change people's lives, okay? While making profit, okay? So it has an objective to make profit, also to be sustainable, because an entrepreneurship venture that is not sustainable is not good business. As entrepreneurs, we know that. But, but in order for, to be qualified as a social enterprise or social entrepreneurship, it needs to have as primary objective to make people's lives better. Okay, the next question reads, please, can you explain again how can we finance that passion? All right, now this is always a challenge, even for commercial businesses. They want more of social, social enterprises. as an entrepreneur in my, say, startup phase, financing is a huge challenge, okay? Especially when your business has a social undertone. Now, the easiest way for me, okay, I'm talking from my own perspective, from my own experience, is to reach out to people that are close to you. Look within your network, okay? As an individual, you have maybe your savings, you have your own activities, you're probably working, and you've put aside money. But now, if the money that you've put aside is not enough to run with your business, you have people around in your network, okay, who probably are looking in the same direction that you are. Now, you can share with them, okay? You can share with them and ask them to chip in. Now, if, as an entrepreneur, okay, if your startup capital, maybe your startup capital or growth capital is exorbitant, you can scale it down, okay? Especially when it has to do with social enterprise, because for social enterprises or for social entrepreneurs, the turnover period is a little longer, okay? For you to break even is a little longer than a commercial business, a commercial enterprise, so to speak. Okay, so, and you have somebody who is interested and wants to come on board, you need to sell that vision, to sell your passion, your vision, and the benefit that it's going to have on people. That's the first scenario, okay? Sharing with other people as a source of finance, from friends, families, colleagues, why not? The second one is, to look for sponsorships or for grants, all right? Seed funding, for instance, I have not, turned a blind eye to the possibility to get funding even from this, okay? Like the entrepreneurship program, and they provide seed fund to young entrepreneurs in Africa. Every year they have an objective of 1,000 young entrepreneurs. If you look those up, you pitch in your idea and you get selected. Then you have a seed fund which will help you to run your project. And there are so many other grants. And you can also use there are so many financing alternatives. But then going to the bank, I'm not a fan of the bank, so I would not advise anybody to go to the bank, because I believe that the bank just puts you in debt. And instead of you focusing on impacting people's lives, you get thinking of how am I going to pay back the loan, So for me, those two or three, so to speak: personal savings. The second is sharing with friends, families. The third being getting grants, from government or international organizations. It's a good way of getting your passion funded. So I hope that I answered that question.
Okay. Myself, we have a question still linked to the financing.
Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned, say, amongst others, the way of financing is through the funds and grant. I was just taking those two examples. Don't you think there might be some kind of problem on properly achieving the aim of social entrepreneurship through funding and grants, knowing that sometimes those finance are coming from operation for other normal, I would say, business for business operation. And under the business for business operation, people doesn't care that much about the feeling of other. The main objective is to make money, like even in the risk of harming people's feelings and just abusing on other people's rights just to make money. And when we have those money, we are giving it for charity, and then financing other activity that are caring more about people. Don't you think there can be a kind of taking from other people and giving to other people in this, how to avoid such thing in the context of social entrepreneurship?
Social entrepreneurs. Okay, I gave three scenarios. Okay, now I like that question very much, very much. CSR. When I joined ISEC in 2009 in the University of Boya, the CSR project was the project that caught me. Okay, and I sought to look at to understand, you know, the concept of the CSR, the corporate social responsibility. You know, it is because the society, you know, the setup of the society is configured in such a way that you cannot prevent, you know, for instance, somebody says, okay, we are running low on maybe fuel. We are running low on fuel. Let's create a nuclear plant for nuclear energy, you know, to provide like an alternative source of power. But we know that the nuclear plant will have negative repercussions on the society, okay? But then how do you solve the energy problem or the power problem without a secondary effect? Now, what these people, they do is they come up with a corporate social responsibility that will, you know, in turn help or support or subsidize maybe the procurement, the cost of medications that are intended to fight the side effects or the effects or the health effects caused by these nuclear plants. Okay, now I cannot justify, you know, taking money from these people who caused the problem in order to fix it. Okay, but then that is the society in which we are. What to do? Do you ask them to shut down completely? That is why states impose corporate social responsibilities on corporates, so that they are obliged to give back, because their very survival is at the detriment of those communities. So they have to give back in some way. You know, so if a social entrepreneur who has, you know, the integrity or the decency of wanting more or better for people can tap from this, you know, bourgeoisie, I would say the business bourgeoisie, because there are not social enterprises that make more money, there are commercial enterprises that make more money. If you have a way through those grants to tap from there and make other people's life better, why not do it? Why not do it? And continue to inform or to pressure, you know, the state or the powers that be or the regulatory bodies, you know, in order to bring these businesses to check their methods so that the impact or the negative effects on the community be minimized. But saying that you completely eradicate it or you're going to refuse taking that money from them, I don't know if I answered your question.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, I got the point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, JP, let me contribute a bit. Our sister is talking about a nice topic here, social entrepreneur and charity. Social enterprise are mostly community-based projects or projects which have an idea to help the society as a whole. They are not 100 for profit. So this project, like she named the CIGs, are always backed up by the community. Let me take a nice project which I love so much. You have Divine Chocolate. Divine Chocolate was started by, it's a Ghana project where, you know, it's also one of the things I like doing is when you take cocoa and you export cocoa in beans, you just pay 1,500 FOB, okay? But when they transform this cocoa to chocolate, you get about 20,000 per kg. Now, Divine Chocolate is sponsored by some UK charities for a cooperative in Ghana, so they finance them. So those social projects, you must be like a cooperative, then people will give you seed capital, okay? It also Divine Chocolate anyway. Divine Chocolate, when they started, they got this from some charity organizations, the capital, and they paid back the charity organizations, and then this project became owned by this cooperative in Ghana. The shares of the whole project became owned by this cooperative in Ghana, and Divine Chocolate is based in Europe and in US now. Or they have more shares in the cooperative. So the farmers not only depend on the 1,500 per kg, but they also have shares inside the 20,000 francs per kg of chocolate bar sold. Okay. When you come to to Asia here, Vietnam and all those countries, you have these solar community projects where the World Bank will come and build a solar plant. I think they are doing that in Cameroon under this, the government is doing that with Huawei. So now, when they come, they build that plant, and then they are paying light. Okay, light is not free, but they are paying it, and then the money goes back to the cooperative, which breaks even. And after 5 years, they pay back the project to the World Bank, and they own it for the society. So social enterprises, mostly they're owned by cooperatives or they're owned by members. If you see the credit union, you put your money and it's owned by the members and they give loans amongst themselves. So you do what we call, you join capital together and do production and share the profit instead of, buying things from people. When I came back from Colombia after my internship, I came and from farmers because I saw the market very cheap. So instead of me putting capital together, I went and looked for 1,000 farmers to buy one machete each. Then all of us will join and buy 1,000 machetes and import it, and the price will be one quarter than the market price. Okay. So that's how most of the social enterprise function. Either they get seed funding to help them to survive, like you talked of the craft in Bamenda, they are under the press craft, yeah, they are under the Presbyterian Church. So the Presbyterian Church raises seed capital, gives them, and when they do their business, they pay off that Presbyterian Church, then the money becomes that of the cooperative members. Charities as well, you also have crowdfunding to do fundraising for social entrepreneurs, you see. You bring your idea up and then you talk of maybe my Bimi Coffee, maybe a solar project. People will raise money and then over time you pay them back. Or you have crowdfunding in the US. When people are donating money, you tell them what you give them in return. You don't refund them. You have this other charity group. It's a Kiva. Kiva. You can look at Kiva. When you bring your project, you put it online, then Kiva will be working through a microfinance. Maybe you want to start a tailoring workshop. Kiva now raise, individuals will give you a loan, and then you pay back to Kiva, and then you own the money yourself. So that is how they do fundraising with those social entrepreneur projects. You have the seed capital. I was talking to a friend who said there's a group sponsoring banks if the objective is more social, because if you are going to villages to group farmers and then give them a loan to start all of their projects and pay back with the produce after 6 months or so, you need operational capital. And there are bodies which even give you seed capital of $100,000. After 3 years, when your model is cleaned, they can invest shares into that cooperative. You see, so that is how social enterprise functions a lot. With ISEC is a good case study of a social enterprise because we offer a product of sending interns abroad, and those interns go to do DT, MT, they are students on internship. So we are helping students while they are still students to train them and to send them out on internship. And we get a token for the exchange program. So you talked about funding from, when you're a social entrepreneur, you have to reject funding. You have to reject funding from businesses which are not corporate, which are not for the people. Okay, you cannot go and take money from ARMS. You cannot go and take money from Citabak. ISEC cannot take money from Citabak, whatever. Yeah. We have to get policies as such. We cannot take money from cigarette companies. We cannot take money from beer companies. ISEC is doing some things with Guinness which they are not supposed to do. You have to look at the source of funding, and you cannot take. Okay, so you have to be very careful. You are attacking those people. You see the project in the Southwest to plant palms, where they had to deforestate the area and plant palms, and then you take funds from such people and your environmental group, how will you fight them? Henneken farms or what? Henneken's farms. They had to kick them out because they were going to cut trees to do palms. It's not a social enterprise, a business thing, and it's going to, spoil the crops, spoil the trees, So you have to be very careful where you take your funds, because when a donor gives you funds in your project, they are maybe trying to bribe you to stop their focus. You see? So yeah, social enterprise like clean water, electricity, and you have to be very careful where you take your funds when you are doing a social enterprise. Okay, thank you. Let me not talk too much.
Thank you very much, Chanri. Thank you very much for the contribution. It is very insightful, insightful indeed. But I remember just coming back to the Tabac, the Brasserie du Cameroon, the Guinness, all these liquor companies, okay? So it's true that the product that they produce, poses, an excess of it poses like a health, problem, to the people, okay? That is why I remember ISEC relationship with Guinness, okay, with Diageo at the moment is to help them, to help Diageo run this campaign, not drink and drive. I say, join the pack. That's the caption of the campaign actually, join the pack, to actually reduce the consumption of alcohol amongst young people, okay, under the age of 18 or from 18 and above, especially within the campus and the public as a whole. So when ISEC is doing this, I was going to ask this question. If you say, do not take money from Citabac, do not take money from Diageo, do not take money from Brasserie, or ISEC is not supposed to collaborate with those people. Now, how does ISEC, okay, not collaborating with these people, check that excess? How would he check that excess?
We are not a watchdog, okay? We have a lot of work to do, a lot of good things to do. So our job is not targeting those guys. We are not the government to be a watchdog for them. ISEC has many good things to do. ISEC has HIV to talk about. ISEC has education. ISEC has, child trafficking. ISEC has many seminars to do, management, and, there's Nestle. There are many other good companies, where MTN, Orange, we can go to them. Why do we need these folks whom we are not who are not in our line of business to work with them? Let's go for the ethical guys. For now, the ethical guys are more than the unethical guys. Let's go for them. Why should MTN? The problem with these guys is that we don't use our resources. Okay, the Alumni and the MC, we are slow. You imagine Phil is in EcoBank, MTN, Orange, they have so many projects coming up. When you were ISEC, we'll go to Nestle and I don't know, Karin, the girl there. Nestle guys will come and give us Yahoo, Camle, and all those products, and we'll consume for our national seminars. These guys are ready to give us those products for youths, for whatever. They are there. And then now we have alumni in those companies. EcoBank has a CSR project. If you push this guy, he will go and help us. MTN, Orange, they have their foundations. And ISEC alumni are working inside. There's so much good money that why are we going for bad money? Let me put it that simple.
Okay, thank you very much. That's very interesting.
Okay, I want comment on that. I just believe each organization like ISEC, we have our principle, we have our values, and I hope when everyone is doing something, he's just caring about those values and our action. Everyone is checking, making sure that our actions are not violating our value and our principle. Maybe taking part in a campaign or with an organization who, that is doing something that are not aligned with our value, is not meaning we support the organization. We support the campaign, but we are not supporting the organization. Even if it will be difficult to defend it in front of the whole everybody, but I think as an organization, we always have to make it clear that it's not because we don't, what the organization is doing is not aligned with our actions. That if the organization is doing a campaign that actually is part of what we are fighting for, we cannot associate our name to it. But anyway, no matter the kind of organization that we are running, we have our principle, we have our value, and at the end, our main actions should be always aligned with our principle and our value.
Principle and values, yeah.
We have 4 minutes left. I don't know if someone else have additional question, or if Quinta, you have something else to add to the talk. Any other questions or comment? Or
Merlin, hello, Merlin, are you there?
Merlin, maybe I will unmute her.
Merlin Gasser, okay.
Merlin?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay.
Just that my English is not so much.
It's all right. Even if you take it from here and put it there, we will understand. It's okay. Just go ahead.
Yes. Yes, I'm there, but my English is not so much. Je vais parler en français, donc mon anglais n'est pas très bien.
Ok, pas de souci.
Okay.
Okay. Aurais-tu une question, Merlin?
Okay, Merlin, do you have a question?
Okay, she went back on mute.
Okay. All right.
Hello?
It's fine.
Hello?
Yes, we have someone else who want to talk. Christian, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everybody. And
Hello?
maybe I got you wrong. I was not there from the beginning of your presentation. I firstly want to say to wish you everything well. And I want to congratulate for this initiative. It's very good. And maybe I got you wrong. I want to know if you plan to work with ISEC in Cameroon anyhow. And if yes, how? Because I think this program is, or this social business is the kind of business that ISEC in Cameroon really needs in order to attract interns from different countries. So, do you plan to work? Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Hi, Christian. Thank you very much for your question. First of all, I would draw you to bring you to this understanding that ISEC, Cameroon, and ISEC Alumni Cameroon, they are one organization. With the program of the ISEC Alumni International, to keep ISEC Alumni as a continuation of ISEC, of the ISEC experience. It's true that most members of the alumni network, they are all post-ISEC, okay? But how do you ensure continuity, after your ISEC experience? How do you ensure that the values that you had gotten, while you were actively an ISECer, how do you ensure that you implement it in the society? How do you keep that network? How do you keep that relationship? How do you apply those, in your active entrepreneurship life to create more impact? I believe that the raison d'etre for the alumni network, to empower each other more professionally with the means that we have, as opposed to when we were ISECers. Yes, ISEC alumni, has always worked with ISEC. because without ISEC, there's no alumni, okay? So ISEC is the birthplace of the alumni network. Now, we have this coaching system in place. Thank God Jean-Louis is here. He is the national responsible, responsible for the coaching scheme. That is the relationship, the platform that is placed to connect ISEC and ISEC alumni, to coach you in ventures like the social entrepreneurship, to guide you with knowledge of the professional world, of the challenges, you know, of the tricks that you need to apply in order for you to penetrate the active professional world. With this knowledge, it is better, you know, alumni are better placed to guide ISECers, you know, on how to gain access into this world that is very close, and also to be able to run the activities that they are running so far. That is negotiating partnerships for your international internships, okay? And also getting partners for, I was GIP, yes, Global Professionals Internship Program. And you also have the volunteering, you know, how to get TN takers and all that, because TN takers are these enterprises. And of course, alumni, you know, you have young alumni with startups where these interns need to come work. But if you do not have a good working relationship with the alumni network, you know, who are the ones controlling these startups? How do you get access to these startups? Okay, so yes, there is a coaching scheme in place that is a platform to ensure that there's a profitable collaboration, a working relationship with ISEC alumni and ISEC. I think Jean-Louis would working directly with the MC on this. Thank you very much, Chris. I hope I answered your question.
Okay.
Yes, yes, you do.
Yeah. Thank you, Christian.
Okay.
Thank you, Quinta. We are 3 minutes to the end of the sessions for the 1 hour plan for the session.
Yes.
If there is no other questions, I would like to thank our president, Quinta, for this, for sharing with us her experience about the social entrepreneurship. I think I learned a lot from this today talk, and I hope you also have some more insight about the social entrepreneurship. And we are going to, David, this video was recorded. We are going to publish it in our social media platform for those who couldn't manage to attend the talk, to be able to also benefit from the knowledge that we have today. As we are saying, this is the first talk of the series of other one that we are planning to do. And I will appeal to to the alumni community. If you have a topic that you would like to share, you have something that you think is valuable to share with the community, please reach out us with the detail, and we are going to schedule a talk for that. Let's say we never know what could interest other people. Then don't say other people might already know about this, and we are always open to learning. Then don't limit yourself, don't refrain yourself of something. Then I will give the last word to the president, and before closing, definitely the talk.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. Well, I want to appreciate you all for taking out time and for keeping this rendezvous. It's very encouraging, you know, how difficult it is, you know, to get people together at a particular time, because we have different occupations and different timetables and schedules. So Jean-Paul, thank you very much for the efforts. Thank you very much for the sacrifice. I know it's not been easy. Merlene, I want to appreciate you for joining in, although it was difficult for you to contribute, but I appreciate your presence. Jean-Louis, thank you very much, Biggie, for being here. And Christian, I appreciate you coming in. Also, Jude, you were here. Thank you. Patience, thank you. And Paul Ngako, thank you very much. And I hope that if we take anything back from this talk today, let it be that let impact, you know, be our preoccupation as opposed to to income, because the more impact we have, the more income we are going to realize. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And my last time to ISEC Alumni Middle East and Africa for granting us with the platform to host the meeting. Thank you, Omar.
Oh, thank you very much, Omar. Yeah. Thank you, Omar. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. See you during the next call. Bye. Have a nice evening.
Bye.
Everybody.
Thank you. Bye.